My name is Diana Yazidjian. I am a founder of DFY Consulting, doitforyou.com. I hope you're all doing well. This is a first live show for me, so do be lenient with me. I'm expecting a few people to join us. We've had some technical last-minute issues that I'm very used to, but this ones were new. And hopefully all of you received my notification of the new link that will make this show air live. So just as we wait for the viewers to join, let me just say a little bit about me. I am an entrepreneur from Canada, Montreal. I have spent close to 9 years in Europe working with some of the best tech people in the industry, and got to see super cool innovations launch, and those that were not quite in the moment, or the consumers weren't ready for them. But I saw one of the best technology deployed, and crowdfunding started becoming a very underground word in close to 2008 or 2009. Just very high-tech people would use them to would use that solution to get their very specific innovation across the internet. Sorry. So anyway, it was a very, very, very small niche industry at the time, and I remember working with some teams, and they were struggling with with getting their products out in the market, and crowdfunding was beginning to be one of the solutions to those issues. And when I got back to Canada in 2011. Crowdfunding was not yet a common standard term, but equity crowdfunding were starting to spread among the financial communities, and I became very interested in the model, the equity model, and sooner than I could say 1, 2, 3, I started lobbying for the adoption of equity crowdfunding in Canada, and we were a couple of people across the country setting up presentations and groups to demystify and explain the ABCs of equity crowdfunding. Looking back, I would have spent more time explaining the ABCs of crowdfunding, period, because even though it's an old model, it's a very ancient model to raise funds and get your project up and running. It still needed educating, and a lot of information had to be given out in order to demystify the idea of sending donations online and having the entrepreneur's project come true. So this is what I'm still doing today. I mean, I've only been doing this for 2 years, and really seriously for just a year, where I'm now giving excuse me, half a day and full day workshops on creating a super campaign, on preparing the market prior to launching the campaign, and on the follow-up of the campaign. It's a lot of excuse me, it's a lot of resources required in terms of time and dedication, but one common denominator is definitely the passion. This said, just if you can stay with me for just a sec so I could verify if we're all good. Excellent. So I've been told that the broadcast is being seen by my viewers. Let me just ask Chad, my friend in crime here, who's been doing such a good job coaching me. There you go. So I was supposed to have on Rose Spinelli, my special guest and partner in crime. She's from Chicago, from crowdfundamentals.com. And this morning she ran into a bit of a habit, and I think that she will perhaps join us a little later. Or anyway, I'm crossing my fingers because her and I, we share thoughts. We brainstorm together, and we try to find the best way to coach our entrepreneurs and have them enjoy their crowdfunding experience. Because at the end of the day, I mean, it has to be something that you enjoy doing, putting the hard work. It's your baby. You want it to lift, and you want the crowd to become as excited as you are. So for now, I'll introduce my two campaigns, and they're really a handful, and I hope you'll enjoy it. From each campaign that are very different, one in scope, in two in the product or service that they're pitching, and three, the personality of each entrepreneur is quite different. But there's a lot of great takeaways that you can take home with you and apply to your own campaign if you eventually decide to go that route. One more thing, for those who have been, excuse me once more, it's just the logistics step. Once that's done, we're on our way to a great show. There you go. So for everyone who's just joining us now, I had to do a last-minute change in the URL so that we can go live. I precedently just created an event, and it was not going to go live, so I wouldn't have the largest audience to tune in. So I had to do this at the last minute. This is called Crowdsourcing 101. I've never had so many people wanting to help me in 5 minutes. It's just crazy. By the way, this campaign was also part of another crowd speed campaign that I publicized for 3 days. I mean, it was a speed crowdfunding campaign. I don't think I've ever done that before. And I successfully raised my objective, and I used the platform called Head Talker. I'll talk about that a little later on the show. Headtalker.com. They've been really supportive, and I also realized that there's a lot of love in this world. I mean, most of my friends, I don't get to speak them that much, and they're always ready to help and show their support. So, thank you to all. I really appreciate that. Anyway, this said, for those of you not familiar with the concept of crowdfunding, let me just give you a little bit of a definition. It's a solicitation of the crowd to finance your project, whatever it is, technology, arts, industry, entertainment, servicing, retail, via an online platform. So all of the campaign is run online, and it is the proceeds are also given online. Everything is done through the different mechanisms that we have, PayPal and whatnot, through the platform. And there are about 700 platforms across the world, and as we know, the main ones are Kickstarter and Indiegogo. It just happens that my two campaigns are one on Indiegogo and the other on Kickstarter. So without further ado, please, let's start with my first campaign that has taken everyone by storm. The latest news I've read is that it is the, let's see here, it is the third most funded campaign ever on Kickstarter. They're raising about $600,000 in funding a day and still going. It's been a crazy ride for them. For those of you maybe you just guessed who I'm talking about, it's called the Coolest Cooler. So let me just go through the campaign. It's about 2 minutes long, just to give you a little flavor of what's in store, and then we'll do a little analysis and takeaway of what I think. I mean, it's very subjective, but what I think made it a success, and then I'll take questions. Here we go. Hope everyone sees it. Okay, so there you go. I know that none of you could hear the video, but the images are pretty um, self-explicit, if I may. Again, another technical issue that I will not reproduce next time I do my show. Because again, when you choose YouTube as your Google Hangout, screen sharing is a challenge, and you need to have third-party equipment. Now, I'm not going there. Next time, I'll go directly on-air Hangout instead of just creating an event. Or I'll work with Google to make it more user experience friendly. This said, so as you saw, the images were, tackling the issues of family outings, friendly outings, and I'll highlight them for you because the text is really important. It's really a jewel of, excuse me, it's really one of the best campaigns I've seen for the main reason that, for the main reason that it has all the right communication mechanisms in place. The Ryan Grepper, the inventor of this product, is also an inventor in real life, has a really market-savvy type of person. He's charismatic, and let me just highlight some of the questions he's raising in his campaign. And by the way, that's one of the things I show in my workshops, is how to solve a problem and really translate it into a public question and provide the answer to the solution to that problem right after in a scene. And he's done it all the time, from start to finish. The music is really pleasant too. So what are those questions? You're already carrying tasteful beverages. Why not blend them up anywhere, anytime? Hey, sure. I mean, you're with adults, you're with kids. You want to have a cocktail, not just orange juice. So he's right to ask that, and he's got the solution to provide that. Second, what's a party without music? Well, of course, and it's all in one. So you just need to bring your iPod or your iPad, and you're set to go. And then it's a statement, a really strong statement, and I like that because it stays with us. The party doesn't stop just because the sun goes down. So I created a LED feature that allows me to see where my stuff are within the cooler, and there are different compartments, so it's all LED driven, and you could find your stuff very quickly. What about getting organized to go out in the first place? Sure, you have all your compartments in there, so you could bring mats, you could bring towels, you can bring all kinds of accessories, you know, to start cooking up a storm, all in one, because the space is provided for that. And how many hours of your life have you spent looking for a bottle opener? That's a strong statement for some of us. I mean, it's probably one of the key decision triggers. Sorry. So of course, right away he shows the scene that opens up the bottle. This is a jewel as a campaign. I'm not surprised that he's just broken all records for Kickstarter. Did you know that in 2013, Ryan tried a campaign and he flopped? I think he was looking to raise $125K. I didn't see the campaign, but I'm sure there are lessons learned that he's taking away with him. And one of those is, hey, I'm solving a generational problem, and I think I know how to present it to the crowd. And then there are many other really key ingredients to this campaign that made it lift, but I think that's really the main one. And I would also add the branding. He called it the coolest. I mean, how smart is that? Coolest, and then really the right typography that makes the brand shine. So hats off to you, my dear Ryan. And you are, Ryan, if you're listening, a very charismatic person to begin with. You set the stage right. You got the right tempo. You know how to present yourself. I mean, that really inspires trust. So thumbs up. And then what else can I say with that? I think that's my big takeaways about this campaign. And not surprisingly, that we're over $8 million now. And I think he still has 16 days to go. Now, if I just may add a little bummer to this, I'm sorry, because it reminds me so much of the Pebbles watch. For those of you who know the Pebble, the synchronized watch that first broke the record of Kickstarter, and they broke so much the record that they couldn't fulfill their orders at the end of the day. And I think most of us are still waiting after 2 years. So it's the downfall of, you know, the hype. He's successfully created a community of followers and ambassadors with a great pitch, with a great video, but at the same time, down the line, it might just create frustration if the crowdfunders are going to have to wait for their orders after 1, 2, 3 years. And let me just say something that I believe that might be the reason why the first time it didn't work out the first crowdfunding campaign for him. He did it during the winter, and you have to think marketing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's how you communicate, when you communicate, all of that is still valid in a crowdfunding campaign. So, in his product is seasonal, right? It's mostly used during the summer, from spring to fall. So you have to seize the moment, and the timing is everything for that type of product. So there you go. Now, any questions around the table? You're welcome to it. If not, I shall move to my next campaign. I hope you're enjoying this, since I can't hear anybody. Okay, I'm getting questions here. Let's start. Good questions, Carol. Thank you. Do you think that crowdfunding will work for someone who wanted to realize a dream for creating an animal sanctuary and wellness retreat? Whoa! I haven't checked the web with regards to that type of service, but let me just kick off the discussion here. The world of animal caretaking is huge, right? The market has just boomed in the last decade. We've had spas, we've had all kinds of animal shops, fashion shops, I mean, you name it, right? And we take care of our pets the way we would take care of our kids. And the bond is just inexplicable. It's there, and for those not owning a pet, it's a little difficult to understand, or I do because I've had and I don't have anymore, but it's really, you know, a loss of a family member. I would say, sure, try it out. You know, the market will tell you if it's something that crowdfundable. I would say it should be. But again, the storytelling is everything, how you bring about the subject also. It's a very sensitive topic, but I don't see why not. Second question. How does someone get an audience to Kickstarter to generate the buzz and interest in their products? Thanks again, Carol. You're doing great. That's a good question. It's a strong one, because a lot of the times crowdfunders come to me when they're in the middle of their campaigns, and the first thing I do is I check out their collateral and I check out their clout. So I breeze through their social platforms and see what kind of traction it's gaining, and what kind of relationship the entrepreneur has with its followership, and if I can identify ambassadors that have been good to his project. Most of the time that people come to me in the midst of campaigns because there's something not going as planned, unfortunately. And that is a key ingredient, is to create social traction way before the campaign starts. And I'll just take 2 minutes to really go a little deeper into that. What I mean by creating social traction is not spamming, is not informing your small network that you're about to launch a crowdfunding campaign. No, it's creating a relationship with your followers on every platform that you're positioned in. And by offering content, intelligent content, sought out content, by blogging, by showing that you're really passionate about your project, your service, by other things that are complementary to your business also. I mean, you could feel free to share your passion. So this is key to preparing the ground for your crowdfunding campaign. And when that traction picks up, when you start getting a followership, when you realize that people really like what you do, they really like you, then when comes the time to announce that you're about to launch a crowdfunding campaign, you'll have your supporters. But you just don't start doing that prior to creating community. You don't ask for their support without them knowing you. I mean, it's the law. It's the law of human relationships, right? First off, you start with your family and friends. They love you unconditionally, most of them, and they will definitely, you know, show support online. Just if I can take my example of the last 3 days. uh, okay, we have an issue. Bear with me. Okay, there you go. I just found another technical glitch. This is so much fun. Okay, so going back to my own 3-day campaign, it's not a donation campaign, it's a crowd campaign. In other words, it was to solicit the crowd to support this show since it's the first. And of course, I did spread the word just about everywhere, but most importantly, I wrote to all my friends individually, asking them and explaining them, and then showing them how headtalker.com worked. And I think that the answer rate was near 100%. First of all, I have to say that I'm humbled because I would never expect that many people to respond in 24, 48 hours. And second of all, the lessons I learned is you have to make it personal. And to make it personal, it's one-on-one, as well as, you know, sharing content and whatnot. So I'm already sharing content on crowdfunding and blogging and you know, doing my stuff. But when it comes to a real event, it's better to always have one-on-one with your friends to begin with, and then it picks up and you could start sharing with a larger crowd. I hope that answers your question. Next. Huh, yeah. How long in advance would you suggest people start their relationship engagement building prior to their crowdfunding campaign launch? Some people will say 6 months, others a little less, but it's not too exaggerated. I think that I work with clients in their social networks without crowdfunding component to it, but just creating a relationship with their customers on social networks. And it takes about 4 to 6 months to start getting a following, not just, you know, becoming brand aware everywhere, but start having a following. And that takes a long time and patience. And I always say that the first times you feel a little alone on your island, and it's okay. Don't despair. Continue publishing, continue sharing, and eventually it will lift. But the key is be authentic, because it shows online. What else? All right. So let's move on. I hope you enjoyed the first campaign and my takeaways, and that you could try to replicate the recipes if the type of product is similar to his, if it's technology, if it meets the consumer's needs, because that's what it is. It's right there. There's a market. It's hungry for that type of product. And FYI, I did look for competitor products on other platforms. Not many, I think 3 platforms. And the only real competitor I found was again on Kickstarter. It's called, let me see. It is called Boombox. Boombox. So you could guess what the product does. It is a cooler, and it does boom, because there's a bunch of speakers all around the cooler to give it a high surround system. Now, I mean, it's a niche market. It's probably the party goers and who are on the beach somewhere. But just the mission statement, the value proposal, sorry, is targeting that youth, and so you're limiting your reach right there. And there are other, little glitches here and there in the campaign. One of them is the branding doesn't appear anywhere. I don't see the name of Boombox. If it's there, I can't see it. You see another name, so that makes it a little strange. Why is there another name on a speaker? Anyway, I could go on and on and on. They didn't raise, obviously. They didn't successfully raise, and their campaign ends soon. Another word I'd like to just last takeaway on Coolest, and that would be their perks. I think they're brilliant. They're personalized. Let me bring you to them because you have to see this. You have to see this. There you go. I hope everyone sees this. So there you go. So you have the traditional lower pledges that must come with any campaign for those who can't afford the $185 value. It is still a big rebate from the retail price when they'll have an online site on. But then you have a special price for the early backers, and it's $165. That's the 20 backers, and then you have the early bird, still $165. Da, 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 and it adds. Look at how many people have pledged. It's just amazing. Now the 185 or more, there are 5,000 more backers. What does it say? It ships across the world. That's what it says. So there is no limit to the sky with this person. Good, hats off to him. Now, one of my favorite pledges, and I think he really shines through that, would be the pledge, the 500 pledge, Coolest Feedback, where he will connect face to face, and that really brings him close to his audience. Proximity is key for a 30-minute session. And my favorite one is the last one here. 8 backers pledge $2,000 or more on Coolest Bartender. He will fly out to your home and man your bar. I mean, how cool is that? It really blends in well with the branding. Very, very, very good work. Anyway, I can't continue enough. This has been just one of the best practice, one of the best practices campaigns I've ever seen in a long time. And now the second campaign, I hope everyone can still hear me. The second campaign has nothing to do with that one. First of all, it successfully raised, but second, it was looking to get out of hardship. So it is a local campaign. It's right here in Quebec. It's a French campaign, and it's a retail pizzeria, not any pizzeria. And it's funny because service companies, whatever they are, restaurants, stores, it's a lot harder to sell the concept on crowdfunding. So he raised more than his goal. Hats off to him. And the reason why, I'll tell you right after the video. Now, I'm conscious that you will not be able to hear the sound, but inspired through the images, they're pretty well highlighted, okay? Here we go. There you go. So let me put you into context. If the story is really well made, I think we could decrypt it without having the sound. Am I correct? Let me go here. There you go. So Pizza Gemini is a local pizzeria that's been around for a few years in small towns across Quebec. There are two, Saint-Roch and Limoilou. It's a small hood type of pizzeria, known from mostly the people that live nearby. And their differentiating element is that they only take local produce, so they help farmers stay in business, and it's all good on them. So it's an ecosystem that really creates wealth for their little region. So all that has created a sympathy capital that people now became fond of Pizzeria Gemini and Oli, who is the owner. So there's really a tight bond between citizens and the pizzeria before they started going into financial trouble. That is, in itself, is the main success factor because Oli did not think of crowdfunding. It is his fans, his customers, friends, and family who thought of setting up a fund for him to get out of that bad period. The problem is that he needed to change some of his equipment because they were in compliance with the regulations. So it cost quite a bit. I think it was just FYI, it was a cooker hood, and so that he couldn't afford to that expense, and he closed shop, and bills started accumulating, and his debt was increasing as days went by. So that small video was, as you can see, I mean, there's no special effects. The lighting is so-so. There's hard rock music in the background that you can't hear. But I mean, it's really not the best practice video that I preach in my seminars. But everything else is just lovely. First, you have the people who love him that take the mic and say, this is why you should save the pizzeria. Then you have, at the beginning, Oli, who says, well, my pizzas are pretty unique because I blend in ingredients that usually don't go on pizzas, and people just love them. And I went looking for their media presence on the web, and yes, the press has been talking about them for some time because they're unique in that way. There are not many pizzerias, niche pizzerias like that across the province. So this said, not surprisingly, he raised over $25,000. People just rushed to help him. Many smaller donations, but since he already has a good followership, he came out of it shining. And he's pretty creative in his perks also. One of them priced at $200 for pizzas. That sounds like a lot of money, right? and a pizza box designed by a renowned local artist who's known across that region. Again, he's creating a sustainable economy, and it's all to his. It's all thanks to him. I think crowdfunding in this particular example has had collateral benefits across the region, and that is one great success story. So that's what I have to say about this campaign. Let me just take up the few questions. Oh, someone wanted to know, I think it's Nick. Hi, Nick. Wants to know for the Coolest campaign, what was the budget for communications and whatnot. Really, I cannot say. I don't have that inside information, but if I can only give you some facts, Raina Grepper is an inventor, as I said, a full-time inventor and product developer. He's been doing that since 2006. So I would suspect that he has many inventions, that he launched many inventions, and I guess that it's probably his own money that goes into the campaign. And he's hired people. Let me just check if there are other questions. For now, there are not any. So that's about it for my first show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that we're going to continue this journey together. I have many more takeaways I'd love to share with you. Perhaps next time it will be the campaigns that didn't do so well, and that will be, and what they could have done to make it better. But there's one thing I want to leave you with. If you are in a crowdfunding campaign today, it's not going as well as expected, please take the time to sit down and see what should have been done. Note it on a piece of paper, note it on Evernote, note whatever you want, but these are lessons that are precious and that only you will know. So next time around, you'll just do everything to not make these mistakes again. And I always say, life is just a list of failures, and then you go on and you become better at it. And that's what crowdfunding also is all about. Before I close, let me just talk a little bit about my Head Talker experience. I'll just show you the site. And I encourage you to try this out prior to launching your crowdfunding campaign. There it is. Hope everyone can see it. So this is headtalker.com. It's a platform where you share your crowdfunding campaign before or during the launch. Sorry. Let me just bring you to the main menu. So you see here you have a list of campaigns. It's just like any crowdfunding platform. And instead of dollar signs, you have social reach signs and the percentage of the social reach met. So you fix yourself an objective of time, and during that time, you ask your network to support you. That increases your social reach. Now, I only started mine last Friday night, so I didn't set a very ambitious project, ambitious raise. And to be honest, I was also testing the application. I wanted to see how it worked and whatnot. So as you can see, I have a perfect 10, 50 of 50. It was a lot of fun doing it. I have to admit there was some last-minute suspense. Are we going to get the last 2, the last 3? And then overnight, some European friend liked me and supported me, and that just closed the buckle. So all you have to do, for example, you see a campaign like this. This is my show. And you choose to support with Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, or LinkedIn. And then it asks you to, authenticate yourself. And then voila, it just takes a couple of taps, and that's it. So for that, of course, you should sign in. And then feel free to explore the different categories think it's really well done. Good on the team, Chris and everyone else. See all those categories. And I'm sure it'll grow and grow and grow. This is a brand new platform, and they already have so many projects. Good on them. So the key to my success, if I can say so, because it's 50 voices. I mean, I didn't go further than that. But if I may just comment on what I think made it possible, it's because I went directly to my close friends and asked them, and that's it. You know, a couple of them shared, and it just picked up really quickly. And it's funny because a lot of them are on vacay, and so they voted for me while they were having a tequila or whatnot. So I appreciate that, because you know, I wouldn't be bothered, maybe, who knows. But I'll remember that next time I'm asked to support a campaign. Oh, I'm getting other questions here. Hold on. Okay. This is fun. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Jean-Pierre. Appreciate that. So I think we're good with the questions. Now, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. You got my URL at the bottom. All my social links are there. Drop me a note. I'll be happy to Skype or talk or just exchange a few emails. It was a lot of fun doing this. Next time, I'm going to have a few boxes at the bottom of my screen with people interacting with me real time. Feels a little lonely, you know, just talking on your own. Anyway, have yourself a great one. It's a great 86 degrees outside. I hope you enjoy your day. Take time with your family. Love you all, and talk soon. Bye.